He is Andy, I am Blair, and we are on the eve of the American League Championship Series between the Kansas City Royals and the Toronto Blue Jays in a rematch of the 1985 American League Championship Series between these two teams. Let's talk about 2015, and Andy, we know Easy Ed Volquez getting the ball in Game 1. And what are we going to get from Ed?
That's a good question. I mean, he was really sharp for 5 innings or so, 4 or 5 innings against the Astros. Gave up 3 runs, but you know he's a pretty reliable guy. You know he's going to give you some sort of length. He can be tremendous. You know he's probably not going to give you 8 scoreless. No one's going to give you 8 scoreless against the Blue Jays. There might be some fireworks. He's going to throw inside. You know they're not going to be afraid of that. You know it's going to be interesting. I mean this is what when I covered these two teams playing 4 games in Toronto, you know, I remember leaving thinking, man, that would be an awesome ALCS to cover. And, you know, sometimes things work out, and it's going to be fascinating. I mean, they're the 2 best teams in the American League. You could make a pretty strong argument they're the 2 of the 3 best teams, along with the Cubs, left in the whole tournament. So, you know, poor Pirates. Win the wild card game, kids. Win the wild, or your division.
Right, or the division.
First.
Yep.
But, you know, it's a ton of talent on the field for both sides, and so it's just going to be fun to watch. I mean, I don't really have a prediction, or I don't really know what's going to happen, but you know, you couldn't ask for much more in terms of a baseball thing. It's not going to have the ratings juice of the NLCS, but it's going to be great theater.
You know, you covered the games in Toronto, and I can remember covering a couple of the games here at the K when Toronto came in here. One in particular, I think it was the 11-10 Sunday afternoon game, which the Royals got up 8-0 and then found themselves, or 7-0 and found themselves behind later. So it's been a crazy regular season series between these teams. Some fireworks between the Royals and the Blue Jays, bad blood, I guess we were talking about that. I don't know if any of that spills over into a playoff game. You're not going to see a beanball war, are you?
I don't think so. I mean, it'd just be so stupid to do in the playoffs. You know, you just assume a baseline of competence that they wouldn't do it. But you saw Jose Bautista's bat flip the other day. You saw Kendrys Morales' home run the other night. I mean, these teams are not afraid to show emotion. You know, the Astros weren't either. So it's not like they were playing, you know, some sort of shut-ins against the Astros. You know, they flipped their bat, they admired their home runs, and that's how the game's played. I think that there was a lot of talk about that today from some of the veteran guys that just kind of, hey, this is what it looks like now. So there's potential. There's always potential for some spillover there, but you know, I don't think these two clubs particularly like each other, but I also don't really know if that's going to change how they play on the field. I think they're going to play hard either way. You know, in 3 or 4 days when we have some actual, some actual data to go on, or some games or something, you know, we could talk about it more in depth. But you know, I think we know going in these two teams don't particularly like each other, and that's why it'll be fun to watch.
We got a ton of coverage on the ALCS and the baseball playoffs and the print editions of the Kansas City Star online at kansascity.com and on your True Blue app.